everybody. It's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I am here for some of the weekend in reality reviews. It is Sunday night, so I know Real Housewives of Potomac comes on tonight. I'm trying to do Ready to Love and Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm going to do those really quickly so we can all get into this Real Housewives of Potomac part 4 of the reunion tonight, which will be on in about 50 minutes or so. So let's get started right now with Ready to Love. I titled this What About Your Friends? It is the episode where the friends come in and get to interview the people who I guess the ladies are feeling, because it's the ladies' turn to send the gentlemen home. It's to me, I said it's too soon. A lot of these ladies have only been on one, maybe 2 dates. I think it was Mumine. I was looking at Mumine, and she only been out on a group date with certain people, and introducing these gentlemen to her friends, getting them to dig deep. And I know it's a TV show, and we taking all this with a grain of salt. It's a TV show, but when I introduce somebody to my friends, it's a serious level. Like, I'm introducing my top pick. I'm not introducing my friends to 2, 3 men. I'm introducing them to my top pick because I seriously want to know their opinions, because I'm seriously interested in them. But OWN has a TV show to produce, so let's get into it. Up first was Zadia and Naeem. I didn't even know Naeem was on the show. I forgot all about Naeem. They didn't give me any chemistry. They didn't give me any energy. He brought Zadia some white roses, but I still was like, okay. Like, to me, after Jason did it with that cute speech for, damn, who was Jason just dating? It was just last season. Was it Lisa? I done forgot her name. I'm sorry. Whoever Jason was dating, I really liked them together. I heard they broke up. But this about Zadia's white roses. If you're not gonna give a good speech with it, I don't care. Liz, thank you, Stephanie, in the chat. Jason and Liz, if you gonna give white roses and not have a cute speech like Jason did with Liz, save it, because that moment it just looked like here you go. Stephanie, I'm so happy you catching the live. When I do my weekend and reality reviews, I don't have a set schedule like Survivor and the challenge. So I'm just trying to get these out the way because Potomac coming on tonight. But back to Zadia and Naeem. Your friend Stacy is fine. What's up with him? Friends make great lovers. See what's up with Stacy, Zadia. That's what I wrote on my notes. The main question they asked Naima is not Naima, but Naeem. Sir, you're 40 years old. What's wrong with you? Why don't you have no kids? Why don't you have no wife? What's going on? I thought that was a disrespectful question. I personally can respect a man who wants to wrap it up and not populate the world with a whole bunch of children by every woman that they date. No shade to Dante, but I respect a man who just doesn't want to have kids because, oh, I'm 40, let me pop a baby out over here, over there. I thought that was a disrespectful question. Why Zadia ain't got no man? She 30 something. I haven't found the right person. That's the answer. That's what he gave. I didn't see any chemistry between them. The only thing he said nice about Zadia is that she was cute and that she liked to work out. Okay, y'all vote for each other. Sabrina has a date with Walter. I always like Sabrina and Walter. Stephanie, I'm there with you. I was getting ready to write that in my notes, but I was like, I'm not gonna be shady. I didn't want to be shady, but I was like, why is she on this date in her workout attire? Do you have a training session next? You don't have a gym bag. She is always wearing workout gear, but I didn't want to be shady, so I'm happy you said it. But girl, okay. Sabrina and Walter. Sabrina brought all her friends. She said everybody come be on TV tonight. You did not need 5 people to interrogate these men. We don't even have that many people. Like, when we getting ready to hire somebody, because where I work, we have to do group interviews. It's not one-on-one interviews when we hiring new people. We only have 3. You got 5 people in here interviewing this man. But anyway, I like Walter's confidence. He came in ready and, he seemed real smooth. And I like Sabrina and Walter's chemistry on episode 1. I haven't seen that match of energy. We're now on episode 7. So I'm like, what's going on with Walter and Sabrina? Maybe they just aren't getting as much camera time. But I'm hoping their chemistry and connection is still strong from the beginning of the show because I like them. Walter tells a lie. He said he's not in the same place with any other women on this show. I don't know if that's a lie, but at least Walter is at least playing the game. Walter is dating. Mumin does have a little moment with Walter, but I think that's more gameplay for the show. But Sabrina is in his top, and I believe Walter is in Sabrina's top. I would just like to see more airtime. I would like to see more of them together, not moving around. Like, people get on Camille a lot, and I get on Camille a lot, but at least it's something to say you know what you want, and that's what you want, and you're not willing to play around with anybody else. But let's move on, because Walter, in that little moment, it went by real quick. For that to be the strongest connection of the show, for me, that I like, they gave them a little 30-second little thing, and that was it. Sabrina should either eliminate or start dating Dante. Walter and Sean both want kids, and Walter does want kids. I forgot about that. Yeah, she's shooting herself in the foot, picking up all the men who want kids when you said the shop is closed. And it's quite interesting because I was getting ready to read Sabrina a little bit next, because her next day is with Sean. And I'm happy you mentioned that, because I forgot. I didn't like how, Sean is next. I never thought Sean and Sabrina had any matching chemistry. He made it clear that he wants kids, and you made it clear that you don't. So after that first date, outside of playing the game of the show, it should have been like, okay, let's just be friends, because it's not going to work. Yes, I'm going to hurt you because we're going to fall in love, and then I'm going to want some kids, and I'm going to have to move on. The number one thing I said, I didn't like that Sabrina made that comment to her friends about, Sean said he doesn't want us to get feelings because in a couple of months he's going to hurt me, or he might hurt me. Well, we already know the context. She didn't give any of the background context of that statement. We already know it had to do with her not wanting kids and him wanting kids. The way she just said that to her friends, without at least, before they even met, like, that's something you could have said after they sat him down, asked whatever they wanted, got to know the man, then be like, well, look, this is what he said to me. When you say it first, you already turned your friends off to this man. They already looking at him like, And so they didn't give him the same energy that they gave Walter. When, now that you mentioned it, Stephanie, Walter and Sean are in the same position where you might get your feelings hurt with Walter as well, because Walter wants kids as well. Sean talking about he wants somebody like Claire Huxtable. I understand what you mean, but I think that 1980s wife is something of the 80s. And it could just be me because I'm a more modern wife, but I just was like, okay, Claire Huxtable. But then the friends back it up with, well, can you be a provider? Question number 2 that I hate on these shows. Like, Sean and Sabrina went on one date. And after one date, you want this man to answer if he's ready to provide for this woman and her child. I feel like you only get 2 responses. You get a man who's going to lie to you and be like, yes, I'm a provider. I'm willing to do, I can take care. You want a man to lie and just say that to make you feel at ease so we can date on, or you have a man tell you the truth. Like, I might pay 1 or 2 of your bills, but I ain't about to pay all your bills, and you ain't even my girlfriend. That's the truth of it all. Like, I understood where Sean was coming from, and I hate the financial questions, because to me, when you first meet somebody, unless you're that type of man that's tricking off money to get a woman, when you first meet somebody, you're not talking about paying all their bills. You're just trying to get to know them. And over time, he might start making more money, or when you love somebody, you are willing to meet their needs financially, physically, however, once you're in love, but you have to evolve to that position. So maybe after 10 months of dating, you might be like, well, do you think you can be a provider? Yes, baby, I got you. Whatever you need, I got your back. You get that kind of response in a loving relationship. That's why I don't like this one date. Let me meet your friends. You're going to pay all my bills. You want a man to hurt your you want him to hurt your feelings. And you heard him say he wanted Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable was a lawyer who was in a 50-50 partnership with Heathcliff Huxtable. It wasn't Dr. Huxtable paying all the bills and Claire was sitting up in her law office and all her Gucci. That wasn't what it was. So I don't know. They get to the comment about hurt people or whatever she said, and like I said, Sabrina let this man take all kind of bullets for that comment when she could have easily explained to her friends that that comment was in reference to him wanting children. He's not saying I'm a player, I'm a cheater, I'm about to hurt you in a couple of months. He was saying I don't want to get my feelings, our feelings all caught up, and we don't want the same thing. But anyway, Sean, it is what it is. I don't think Sean has steady employment. They do joke around on the show. I don't know. His title does just say artist at the bottom, but people can make money with their art. I don't know, but at least he was honest. You lose out on good people when you start with finances most time. I agree, Jordan. I 100% agree. When you start bringing finances into the first date, it turns people off. Get to know the man. Get to know him. And Sabrina, it looked like you can support yourself and you can provide for yourself. So why do you even care if this man can provide for you after the first date? But let's move on. Up next is, of course, Camille and Cornelius. I liked Camille and Cornelius's little group setting because Miss Camille was exposed. Her friends put all her tea on blast, and I was here for it. The first thing they said was, because she brought up he's into no sex before marriage, and it's like, bitch, what? We know you ain't. Why you bringing this man around? So obviously, Camille is the type that's willing to tell Cornelius what he wants to hear because she wants to be with him. She admits she's scared of marrying somebody with a little penis. She want to try it out first. And it seems like everything she drugged Courtney from, like Courtney seems a little hoish. She wants to rub and touch and I'm a wholesome. She want to do all that same shit. And I'm so happy her friends call her out on it. And we at TV know that Camille's full of shit. She's full of shit. She's saying whatever she want to say to this man for this television show. Her friends really didn't ask any good questions. They asked Cornelius off the bat, are you in love with her? No, people. He just met this woman and she crazy. He really, he says he loves her personality. I wrote in my notes, he loves her crazy personality. I already explained last week. A lot of men love crazy women, and this is just based off something my mama always told me. She said, she said crazy women seem to be crazy also in the bedroom. They have great sex. I don't know. I ain't never been with no crazy woman. But I don't understand the pull that Camille has over him, because she's completely disrespectful to him. After the first encounter, he can't talk to nobody else. He a country bumpkin if he look at somebody else. Like, to me, that all that should be red flags and a turnoff. But Cornelius likes it. He says he's never cheated, and for some reason, I believe him when he says it. He doesn't seem like the cheating type to me. So I like him. But then they flipped the whole thing, and he started asking the friends about Camille. And they exposed that she's a runaway bride, and what makes you so special? I don't know if you're gonna be able to keep her. She don't never keep no man. Why you so different than the other men? And for the most part, Cornelius took it all with a grain of salt. He was like, haha, I think they're joking with me. But I'm like, they telling you the truth. And I forgot what else I wrote in my notes. I can't read my handwriting. But at the end of the day, I just need Cornelius to move around. I'm over the Cornelius and Camille thing. Like, if y'all love each other so much, just exit the show and be with each other. Um, I'm glad Cornelius asked the friends questions, but I need him to get a back. I need him to get a backbone, and I need him to realize when people are telling you the truth. Like, they were being honest with you, and you thinking they sitting up here joking. He gonna get his feelings hurt with Camille. We'll see at the reunion. It'll be a good moment on the reunion. Up next is Sydney and Frank. I don't have nothing to say about Sydney and Frank. I just want them to have sex and get off my TV screen. All they did was give PC answers to whatever questions they were being asked, and all they did was rub up and kiss up on each other. And I'm like, whatever. Like, if you all know each other or knew each other from the past, y'all run in the same circles, and y'all got all this hot and bothered chemistry amongst each other, why y'all ain't date before? Why you say, girl, Frank is fine. Go introduce me to Frank. Or Frank, I really like your home. Like, all this shit with Frank and Sydney seems fake. Move on. Mumine has 2 men that she needs to be interviewed. And I'm wondering why. I never seen Mumine on any dates outside of group dates. And she was the one caught up with Corey. So I'm like, how does Mumine have 2 men already? Corey just went home 2 weeks ago. Anyway, up first was Dante. I feel like she has an issue with Dante having 3 kids by 3 different women, but she doesn't want to bring it up. Like, she doesn't want to make it an issue for the show. I think Mumine will play around with Dante, but at the reunion it broke up or something like that. Up next comes Walter, and it's very awkward because why would you invite Walter at the same time as Dante? It's like, and when did Mumine date Walter? I thought Walter and Courtney had a good chemistry. Like, I really couldn't understand how Courtney went home over Camille, but we ain't gonna go backwards. Dante was holding, oh, this heater done got hot. Dante was holding Mumine's hand under the table, and she felt like Dante was more open to the process and Walter was more closed. Walter don't want to be with you, girl. He just moving around for the show. They asked Walter, is he ready for a commitment? And I like the honesty and the joke of it all. Like, you want me to commit, but it was a man just sitting right here when I got here. What am I committing to? So, I don't know. They went out on a date in the flower garden. I don't recall. I don't recall. And I don't care. Like, to me, maybe they can't see what we're seeing on the TV, but Mumine is picking the wrong men. Like, Mumine wants to save herself for marriage, and Cornelius wants to save himself for marriage. Why not at least, I'm not saying everybody that want to save themselves have the same chemistry, but at least, I haven't even seen them talk. Can you at least talk to the man, talk to the woman, and see if you have anything in common? But as long as you're picking people who are highly sexual, that's one thing that's never going to work unless you're just going to break your celibacy. But let's move on to Phil and his 3 dates, which is Phil is someone who was never on the show. Like, I need the edit to be more equal and fair, because you keep showing me Camille and Cornelius. You keep showing me Aisha and everybody else. We did see Aisha and Phil, but I've never seen Phil talk to Tasia. I don't recall Phil talking to Shiloh. Did Phil just step in so these ladies can have a scene this week? I don't know, but let's move on. Up first was, you said Mumine likes anyone who likes her. I agree, because I don't see how she ever liked Corey. And it seemed like that's what she did. Oh, Corey paying me attention. He changed my tire. Let me give him a chance. That's how you don't never find no man. You can't like everybody that likes you. You have to know what you want, and you have to stand true in your standard. And if your standard is no sex before marriage, if your standard is this, you can't just say, oh, well, I accept it, because a lot of women think, oh, I can try to change him to meet my standard. And That ain't gonna work. You know, a man with 3 kids by 3 different women ain't sitting around to marriage to have sex. So when men get it together. But back to Aisha and Phil. I like Aisha and Phil when they had that conversation. I thought they had great chemistry, and at least they have great openness and honesty amongst each other. I like Phil for Aisha the best out of the other women on the list. I feel like they have chemistry, but this kids thing could be what takes Aisha off the table for Phil. I don't know. I felt like Phil was more comfortable with Aisha's friends. He was more open and honest. I felt like when Phil got with Tasia, they were just talking about having a basketball team, and that's just shit you joke around. Like, I I don't see any chemistry with Tasia. Tasia, to me, Tasia is probably dates better off of TV. Like, she doesn't give good television. She seems very closed. Her wall is still all the way up, circling all the way around her perimeter. Tasia is not going to give you the energy that we need for this TV show's process. So Tasia can go home next week, and I love Tasia. I wanted her to find a man, but until she lets that guard down and gives us any piece of her personality, unless that coldness is her personality, it's gonna be hard for her to find a man. Phil and Shiloh, strange. They wasn't even talking about nothing. But do you all think Phil is a player? Or was he just fulfilling the requirement? Like, okay, y'all gotta film a scene this week. At least I do it for you. Cause I didn't see the chemistry with anybody but what's her name? Aisha. But Phil did go around and say, I'm not here to give anybody my orders. So he said everybody is high up on my list. Which is not saying everybody is my top, but he's making each woman feel like you at least one or two. One or two. You're high up on my list. Which all women here is I'm his number one. And that was a lie, Phil. That was a lie. Tasia didn't have any friends. Those were her business partners. They don't know Tasia. Oh, I thought they were her friends. Maybe her friends just didn't want to be on TV. No player, he's just playing the game. I agree. Phil is just playing the game, which I'm not mad at, but it made Tasia and Shiloh seem like they really don't have a connection because I didn't see it with Phil. Now it's time for the round table with Tommy. Let's just get through this really quick. It was a whole lot of stretching. It was a whole lot of shrinking. And I was like, what is going on? Why are we arguing over this? All the ladies, admit I saw Phil. Tasia got a little bit of Camille in her. She was like, I ain't know he was seeing all of these ladies. I thought he was just here to see me. Okay, Tasia. She said it's time for everybody to shrink. Aisha says, go ahead and let them stretch. I want them to stretch and see if they really want to come home. I think that's what people say to make themselves feel more comfortable about their man seeing a whole bunch of other people. Like, yeah, he could talk to whoever he want to talk to, but as long as he might come home and see if he really want me. That make you feel comfortable, Aisha. Go for it. Stephanie doesn't think Phil is a player. Phil is only given to see in Shiloh camera trials. Facts. Kyra. Who is Kyra? Kyra from last season. Did I say Kyra? I meant to say Camille. I say people names wrong all the time. Was it even Kyra last season? Yeah, the lawyer. Anyway, I don't want to talk about her. No one was feeling Sean. So Sean was at everyone's bottom. I believe they were all like they weren't into Sean the last time. Oh, Phil is the new Kyra. Oh. I can see that because I don't even think Phil want Aisha because I think the people, why don't they have any older men on here that have kids already? I feel like this is an unfair season because it seemed like all the men this season want children. And the only one that probably doesn't want additional children is Dante. But you got to deal with his 3 kids and his 3 baby mamas. And a lot of women don't want to deal with that. That's just facts. But let's move on. I can see Phil being a new Kyra because I don't think he wants anybody, but I think he's going to string all of them along to the end. And we probably will read him a couple of episodes down the road once we see that develop. Nobody is feeling Cornelius. And Camille's face is twisted. She makes the ugliest faces. I wish she would stop doing that. I'm like, girl, that's your man, right? You should be happy none of these ladies want your man. Why is your face twisted and turned? Just because you leave the show, your man get kicked off the show, you know what? If that's your man, at least you still got a man. Is it about finding the man or is it about getting to the end of the show? Because if that's your true love and you found each other, who cares if he gets kicked off? You still got his number. You can still call him. You can still date him. You should be happy nobody else wants him. But Tasia says, oh, wait, I done talked. It's strange. Tasia is the one with all the tea. Every confessional. It's strange because Cornelius told me he want to move around. It ain't just Camille, but he kind of scared of Camille. And why? You don't owe this woman anything. I thought Cornelius had a lot of chemistry with Courtney. I don't understand why he let Courtney get voted off. Really, Courtney over Camille or Tasia or Shiloh. Like these people who have no... I've seen... How did Courtney get voted off? I know I'm going backwards, but I'm just thinking like she definitely had a connection with Cornelius. She had a connection with Walter. I seen Courtney date everyone I saw Courtney date. It seemed like she had that energy of being able to have a connection. I don't see why it's certain people still sitting here. But she gone. Let's move on. Courtney, you dodged a bullet. Usually people when they go home, they dodge a bullet. So let's remember that. Phil's the one that helped Aisha fix her flat. I remember that, but at some point you have to be honest with yourself. And I think Aisha is saying she probably would have more kids. She was honest with him and said, I carried them difficultly and I might lose the baby. And I understand. I ain't gonna give Aisha too much. Let's see. Now, all the ladies fights. We fighting over a list. Zadia says she got 2 men. She got in rotation or whatever she said. And Aisha was like, well, it's time for people to start shrinking their list. And Zadia's like, what list? I said 2 men. And I'm like, Zadia, 2 is a list. Just because, once you put things in order, 1 and 2, that's a list. I didn't understand why we arguing about this. Because at the end of the day, everyone talking about shrinking and stretching and narrowing and all of this stuff when none of the men that is on your list is up for elimination this week. Ladies, y'all knew y'all were getting rid of Sean. Sean and Cornelius are the 2 that are going out on these elimination dates. Why are we arguing? None of your men is on the chopping block. So I didn't understand what the ladies were fighting for. I guess producers said y'all need to give us something more. I don't know. But then Sydney said, well, ladies, I know it seems like your men are stretching, but they're just trying to get to know me because I'm new. They aren't really stretching that much. They just want to know me because I'm new and I'm cute and they want to get to know me. And it was silence, and then Mumim chuckled, and then I laughed my ass off. I'm like, bitch, ain't nobody worried about you. You can go home next. You ain't. Sydney is a mess. Then Zadia and Tasia get into it. When Tasia, you started it, Zadia wasn't even talking to you, but you wanted a camera moment. Um, and I'm over it. Now let's see. Camille and Cornelius must work together to stay on the show. Otherwise, once either get voted off, the other true. But why? If it's about finding love and you all found love, go ahead and get voted off and do your thing. We'll see you at the reunion. And you could tell us how happy of a couple you are. The point of this show is to find love, but you have to have people to vote for you. And I agree with you, Jordan. It's starting to give Survivor vibes, Big Brother vibes. How long can we stay in the house? What alliance can I get? Because none of these people this season, like this is the worst season of finding love. So we just talking about the bullshit because I don't see any chemistry with amongst anyone this season. And the people who have a little bit of chemistry, one want a baby and the other one don't. So I don't know. In order to make it to the end of this show, you have to have at least one other person in your corner. You got to have a list. Like I'm at it. You got to have a list, at least two. Because you got to have people voting for you. If no one's voting for you, you and your love can go home. But I don't understand why it was such, like every season is somebody who couples up like this in the beginning and make it to the end. So why are we so mad at Cornelius and Camille for doing this to the end? I don't know. Tommy instigated for ratings. He probably did. Most of the ladies have one connection and on the verge of being eliminated. Hence the fight. Most of the ladies, if you look at the ladies who are fighting, they have zero connection. I don't know who's on Zadia's list, but I see Zadia have chemistry with no one. I don't know who's on Tasia's list, but I don't see Tasia having chemistry with anyone. I don't know who's on Mumin's list. What we did see is Dante and Walter, but she has chemistry with no one. So I agree. The people who are fighting can easily go home next week because no one really cares. No one. I don't see anybody with the connection. But that was it for this week. I went over 20 minutes. I talked a lot. I have to do Love and Marriage Huntsville next. That one will be short because it'll be quick. But I thank you all for watching this. If you are on the rewatch, please get in the comments and let me know what you think. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, like the video, share, and if this is your first time with Kiss My Cheeks TV, please go ahead and subscribe. I do all of the reality shows and the reality competition shows, and we have a good time on the lives together every week. So thank you all so much for watching. I agree, Stephanie, this season, as far as it's pertains to finding love, is horrible. And if you were talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's a terrible season too. That's why Love and Marriage Huntsville gonna be a 5-minute review. I just got to get through the finale, and then we're gonna get to the reunion with Carlos. So if you want to stick around and watch the Love and Marriage Huntsville live, I will be going live right after this to get that review out of the way. And then I will see you all tomorrow night for, thank you so much for being a new subscriber, Jordan. Tomorrow night will be the Housewives of Potomac review. It will be live. And what comes on tonight? Portia new show. It's going to be some mess. And I'm here for the mess. I don't believe nothing any of these people saying on my TV screen about Portia and the Simon drama, but I'm going to watch it for the mess, and I'm going to review it. So up next is Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for Real Housewives of Potomac and Portia's show. Have a good one. Bye.